Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Monticello School District's Ready for Learning plans for 2021 school year. And at any time during this webinar, if you have any questions at all you have to do is go to the bottom of the page and click on the Q&A button, and then you can ask your questions. We will not be able to answer the questions tonight, but we will gather all of the questions together, and we are preparing a question and answer document to be shared with you. Also, principals are working on a video of a tour of their building where they answer very specific questions about the beginning of school, and they will answer those questions at that time also. And I just want to say that I'm very happy that we have this opportunity to sit down with you and lay out our plans for the start of school. And you know, school will be starting on August the 24th. And as most of you know, on July the 9th, the governor issued an executive order that said that we could not start school before August the 24th, and we couldn't start any later than August the 26th. So we've chosen to start August the 24th. Our doors are going to be open, and we welcome our students back, and we're looking forward to seeing them on that day. And our goal is to have all of our students in school, and we are going to have a start of school that's as normal as we can possibly make it and still abide by the guidelines from the CDC, the ADH, and the ADE. And I just want to assure you that we are taking all precautions to ensure the safety and well-being of all of our students. We will issue each student 2 washable masks. Maintenance staff have been trained on all the procedures for cleaning all surfaces, and all surfaces will be cleaned throughout the day, even our playground equipment. We have been very busy this summer, as you might imagine, getting things ready for your child in the fall. And the one sure thing that I can tell you is that we can expect that there might be changes. And so one thing that I would ask, we know we're going to have to abide by whatever guidelines are sent to us, and we expect to have some changes. And so we're just asking that you be a little patient with us as we work through all of these guidelines and as we sail through this uncharted water. First of all, I want to say is that we will start the year on a 4-1 week schedule. And what that means is our students, on-site students, will be in our buildings Monday through Thursday. They will be receiving face-to-face instruction along with what is called blended learning. Blended learning is a combination of face-to-face instruction and using technology to do lessons and things like that. And what we're doing, it is to prepare these students for any time that we may have to pivot to an all virtual school if there are any school closures. Now, we're not expecting any, but we have to be prepared for them. The other thing is that on Fridays, that will be a virtual day for all students. And teachers will be working with those students on Friday. The students will be at home and they will be logged in to their Google Classroom. They will be interacting with their teacher and they'll have classes as usual. And this is to also prepare them for any time that we may have to go virtually. And there is a blessing to that. There are no more AMI days, no more AMI packets, no more paper packets of any kind. So if I, as a student, miss a day because I've got a dental appointment or I've got some other reason that I'm going to be absent, or if we have a snow day or some unforeseen things like some outages, then the kids will just fire up their computers, go to their Google Classroom and have school as usual. So there won't be any hustling around for those kids to try to get back to school and find out what work that they've missed and get caught up on things. They won't be getting behind. So that's one good thing that we can look forward to. I would like to take just a few minutes to answer some of the more frequently questions that I've been asked over the summer. And one of them is bus transportation. Are we going to have bus transportation? Yes, we are. It's going to look a little bit different than we've done in the past because social distancing is not feasible on a school bus. We all know that. So we're going to require that all of our bus riders wear a mask. Also, when they enter the bus, there's going to be an automatic dispenser of a hand sanitizer, and they're going to have to use the hand sanitizer anytime they enter the bus in the morning and also in the evening. Parents also want to know, will we be screening their children? We trust our parents to screen their children. And our school nurses are going to speak in just a few minutes, and they're going to give you more details on that. But if your child is running a temperature or if your child is sick, we are asking you to keep them home, and we're trusting you to do that. The other question that I get asked a lot is, well, will my child have opportunity to do activity classes? Yes, they'll have PE, they'll have art, they'll have music, they'll go out to recess. Now, those, they'll be in smaller groups because, you know, we have to social distance the best that we can. And so there'll be smaller groups going out to recess, but they will be going to the cafeteria. They will be having lunch. The other thing that I want to mention is that water. All of our buildings are now equipped with touchless water bottle filling stations. And we're asking that each child bring a clear water bottle. But every building will have several of those. The other thing that I want to say is that we are going to issue every child a device. For children that in grades K through 5, they're going to be issued an Apple iPad and a case. For children that are in 6 through 12, they'll be issued a Chromebook, and they'll also have a case. And they'll be using those devices at school and at home. And you'll hear more about that a little later on. And what you'll need to do is that we'll have a user agreement that you will need to sign, but they will be taking their devices home. The other thing, you know, every year before school, we have orientations and we have all of those things that bring you in, and you get that great big huge packet of registration information. Well, this year registration is completely online, and all you have to do is go to our webpage, the Billy webpage, www.billys.org, and the registration packet is right there, and you can fill it in online, and you can use online signing. So I know how tiresome it is when you get that thick packet and you have to sign everyone. Sometimes you just think you're signing away your life. So this is going to make your life a little easier. And when you go to our Billy website, you'll also find some very useful and informative documents. You will find our school support plan. You will find our plan for re-entry. You'll find several documents that answers questions about our virtual academy as well as our on-site school. I think you will find them very informative. Also, I just want to remind you that at any time during this webinar, you can be posting questions. And at the end of the webinar, it'll be up for several minutes. So if you have a question that you didn't get asked, you will still have time to do that. And I just want to thank all our families and our community for tuning in tonight and attending our webinar. And I just want you to know that we are looking forward to school and that we are going to take care of your children. And we've got lots of things that are in place to make sure that everybody is safe. And we want to help in any way that we can. And so if you have a question that you don't feel like typing in or whatever, you can just get in contact with any of us. And please let us know, because we do want to answer your questions. Thank you.
Hello. We have 3 nurses here at the Monticello School District: Lane Bowman, Tia Reed, and myself, Sissy McRae. And the first topic on our slide is PPE, personal protective equipment. Monticello School District will provide each student with 2 washable face coverings. Staff will receive 1 washable face covering. We also ordered many disposable masks, gloves, gowns, hand sanitizers, disinfectant wipes, and disinfectant sprays. Under your daily screening topic, screenings will be the responsibility of the parent or guardian prior to the school day. Staff will also screen at home prior to arriving to school. We have placed the daily home screening guide on the Billy website for your use. This form does not have to be turned in to the school. If you have a known COVID-19 exposure, illness, or COVID-19-like symptoms, please stay at home. It is very important that you let the school nurse know of your situation. This is the daily home screening for your students' questionnaire. There's 4 questions under symptoms and 4 questions under close contact potential exposure. Please conduct this screening every morning before your student leaves for school.
I know everyone has a question about contact. What are we going to do if there is a case? So as far as contact tracing goes, it will be done in conjunction with the Arkansas Department of Health. If we have a positive case or a probable close contact situation, the Arkansas Department of Health has provided a flow chart that we will follow very closely. The health department will be contacted. We will follow their direction. With that being said, as far as an isolation room for students that are probably positive or have the symptoms, each campus has a designated isolation room. The room will be used for students that might become ill at school, and we will need to have a place that they can comfortably wait on their parent to come and pick them up. It is imperative that the student is picked up promptly once you've been notified. As far as medications at school this year, what we're asking is if your child requires any type of medications, which includes inhalers or EpiPens, any oral medications as well, we will need you to make an appointment to bring that medication to the school. We will come to your car with the appropriate forms so that you will not have to enter the school building. We're requesting that you contact us so that we could perform these appointments and meetings between the dates of August the 17th to the 24th. That is the week before school is scheduled to start. We will be there. We'll be at work and available. Please call your child's school and ask to speak to the nurse to set up this appointment.
Hey guys, we're asking for the emergency contact information. We ask for it every year, but we just want to make sure that you guys will let us know if anything changes. A lot of times people's phone numbers change during the school year, their addresses change. It's really important that we keep a current phone number on hand so that if your student needs to be picked up, we can get in touch with you. Also, preparation of students concerning healthy habits, okay? And that's talking about the PPE, wear a face mask, hand washing, and social distancing. We feel like students would do a lot better at school if they practice on this at home. So we've placed a CDC hand washing video and written material concerning the face mask on the Billy website for you to review and practice with your child. Start now pricing so they will be comfortable in carrying out these tasks when asked to do so correctly at school. Please feel free to forward any questions you might have, and we will be glad to answer them the best we can. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Cindy Hilburn, principal at Monticello Elementary, and I'm joined by our assistant principal, Mr. Anthony Jackson. As you all know, we have many changes taking place at MES this year due to COVID-19. Some of the changes are as follows. Academics for on-site blended and virtual instruction and IRE for literacy and math, along with other curriculum resources. And we will also have all our required activities, including music, art, and PE. Our learning management system to be used for on-site blended and virtual learning is the Google Classroom. Each student will be issued an iPad for on-site and virtual learning. Parents and students will be required to sign an agreement and be issued an iPad. There will also be headphones for on-site students that will be issued for the year. Information on the Virtual Academy for students and their learning coach will be given the week of August the 17th to the 21st. This year, our parent communication will be done through Seesaw and the MES Facebook page. So make sure you join the Facebook page. All students K-2 are mandated by law to be screened for characteristics of dyslexia and other literacy and math needs. The Virtual Academy students will be required to come on campus for scheduled face-to-face screenings. All K-2 students will also be given the iReady state assessments 3 times a year. Virtual students will also be required to come to campus for face-to-face assessments for the state assessment. Virtual students may also be required to come to campus for other scheduled assessments like unit tests, etc. MES will have a virtual open house, which will include a video from each teacher showcasing their room, and we're planning on preschool and kindergarten to participate in a drive-through meet and greet with the teachers. Students in each grade will be divided up for lunch and recess, but eat and play with their same group or their cohort each day. There will be lunch delivery or visitors, and students who bring lunch so in a disposable bag to be thrown away after their meal. All water fountains, Ms. Lanehart mentioned earlier, will not be in use. We have installed touchless water bottle filling stations for students to use. Visitors on campus will be limited to scheduled conferences by parents, teachers, or administration, with the exception of emergencies. Students will be required to wear a cloth face covering on the bus during the AM and PM ride and when entering and exiting our MES building. Students are not required to wear them in the classroom during lunch or recess. Classrooms in high-traffic areas will be cleaned and sanitized multiple times a day. Students will use hand sanitizer when entering classrooms. Pre-K students will attend school 5 days a week, while K-2 students attend a 4-1 or virtual schedule. This year, our doors will be open at 7:30 each morning for car riders. Parents are asked to remain in their vehicles while students sit the car onto the sidewalk. Parents are asked not to walk their child to the door for social distancing and safety reasons. During the afternoon car ride, parents are required to stay in the line and not walk up to get their child in the afternoon. Send your child into your car. All these new guidelines are different for us, but we can adhere to the guidelines together to create a safe, productive learning environment for our student staff. We at MES appreciate your willingness to help during these unprecedented times. Thank you, and we are looking forward to all of our students coming back to MES this fall.
Good evening, Billy families. My name is Blake Abbott. I'm the Monticello Intermediate School principal. And beside me, I have Ms. Kim Smith. She is the Monticello Intermediate School assistant principal. We want to cover a few things that are campus specific for us tonight so we can keep everyone informed. Don't forget that you can put your questions in the Q&A and we will respond to those as quick as we can. The first topic, we will have cloth face coverings for students. We will provide 2 of those for each student in each grade, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. When will those students be required to wear those? When we cannot socially distance, they will be required to wear those between classes, going to and from lunch, before and after school, as well as on buses. And before and after school is talking about whenever students are coming to school and when students are dismissed from school, whenever we will be in the hallways and things like that where social distance cannot be followed. We will be within that 6-foot range. Our second step is begin the school year with specific safety procedures for books in the library. Ms. Longing, our librarian, has very specific safety procedures to keep students safe, and we appreciate her work on that. We also have invested a lot of time and effort into an electronic library, ebooks, in case we have to go virtual, or for our virtual students, they will still have plenty of options to read books, to be able to continue reading and improve their skills. Lunch and recess, only half of the grade will attend at one time. There will be only 2 students, possibly 3, per lunch table while we're eating lunch. Students will get their normal amount of lunch time and their recess time. So we will not be shorting the students any minutes. They will continue to get their required minutes. We will just be staggering our schedule for safety purposes. No lunch deliveries, and all student brought lunches must be in disposable bags or containers. So those things will be thrown away every day, even if your child brings their lunch. And for visitors this year, please remember that we have no visitors allowed during lunches. And if you need to come visit with a teacher, a principal, counselor, anyone on our campus, you will need to schedule those visits to be allowed into the building. We will have one-way traffic in specific hallways, of course, to reduce hallway traffic during class exchange. We will do our best to not only socially distance, but to make smart decisions to keep everyone that does choose face-to-face learning as safe as possible. We will use Seesaw and Facebook for campus communication. If you have not logged into our Seesaw, please go to our Monticello Intermediate Facebook account for information there. It has been posted this week. We will again post after this webinar tonight. I will let you know that parents and students who are subscribed to our Seesaw account will get all information before they see it on Facebook. So please sign up for Seesaw so you'll be the first to know. We will do cleaning in between class exchanges to keep students safe because we swap classes at our campus. We want to make sure that if one student sits in a desk and then we swap classes and another child comes in to sit in that same area, that zone is clean and safe and ready for learning. We will have hand sanitizer at every entry for our classrooms. We greatly appreciate our maintenance and custodial staff who have helped us prepare for that. All MIS students will be issued an iPad for educational use. And that is when we want to focus on educational use. They will have these devices. These students will be traveling to and from school with these devices at periodic times through the course of the week or the year. We want to focus that those iPads are for educational use only. Virtual and blended instruction will go through Google Classroom. That will be our learning management system. We will use the same curriculum, whether you choose virtual instruction or face-to-face instruction. We know there are some benefits to both, but we are fully prepared in both measures to use the exact same curriculum through Google Classroom. We will also be using Google Classroom for our blended students who will be coming to school 4 days a week and then get instruction blended on Friday. All MIS students will receive music virtually this year for safety measures. Ms. Greer, wonderful music teacher, has made many plans and changed a lot of things in her classroom to get things prepared for this. We greatly appreciate her work. We will plan to train virtual students and virtual parents on Google Classroom and the specifics within that learning management system within the week of August 17th to 21st. Please stay tuned through Seesaw and Facebook for communication measures. And our car riders will be released from their vehicles at 7:25. With the campus layout, we will start a few minutes earlier because we know that many of our students and families also need to travel to MES, so that keeps our traffic flowing in a proper function and direction. Again, don't forget questions and answers that you can post, and we will get to those as a district as soon as we can. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Abbott. I appreciate you very much. A lot of the things that Mr. Abbott said were really in line with what MIS is doing and with our MHS. And I think district-wide, we try to emulate some of our practices so that our children, when they transition from one school building to another, it really helps a lot. My name is Kevin Hancock. I'm the principal at Monticello Middle School, and I'm being assisted by our assistant principal at Monticello Middle School, Kenny Pace. I wanted to talk a little bit about our virtual and blended instruction, which will be given to our students at MMS via Google Classroom. And sign up for virtual homeschools is by request. Chromebooks will be assigned to every student, and parents will need to sign an agreement. Synchronous and asynchronous lessons will be provided for our virtual students, and some lessons will be recorded and posted in advance, while some sessions may be conducted as needed for interventions and support. These mostly will be given on Friday. Our blended environment and face-to-face instruction will be given via blended whenever they're at home or in the classroom face-to-face, but we'll also be requiring students to submit these assignments via Google Classroom, and all of our instruction and curriculum is in line with our virtual students so that they're all on the same pace. Our resources for our parents and students will be posted on our webpage as well as on Google Classroom. These include all overall Google resources and procedures and class-by-class content instructions. Additionally, communications and announcements will be on Remind. They'll also be posted on our webpage and Facebook as a main source, and online posting of our handbooks will be on our webpage too.
Hello, I'm Kenny Pace and assistant principal to middle school, and just a few more things. And basically, what you've heard from everybody and what you'll hear from the high school, we all try to be consistent. And that's the main thing, because, you know, we don't want one campus doing one thing, another campus doing another thing, and parents are confused. And even kids may be confused. So we don't want that. But transitioning throughout the building, of course, we're going to try to keep our social distance best we can, walk on the right side of the hallway. If we can possibly have one hallway that's by itself going one way or the other, but our building's really not laid out like that. So that'll kind of be hard to do. But again, we're going to keep our social distance. When the bell rings in the afternoon, what we're looking at doing, and we may try this, is to have a couple of bells. One bell will ring for maybe the bus riders to be released, as well as the athletes if they have after school practice, and the other bell for car riders, or it could be either or. So that will hopefully cut down with traffic in the hallway, as well as maintain the 6 feet social distance. Mask, you've heard about the mask. Face covering, cloth face covering. Of course, we don't want anything. Some students may have their own, no vulgar. I mean, that's covered in the dress code. And so nothing offensive, nothing vulgar, common sense kind of things. Lunchtime procedures, I think it's been mentioned that with the students bring their lunch in a disposable bag that they can throw away, no lunch boxes or none of the canvas kind of lunch boxes that they take back and forth. Just make sure you can throw it away or eat in the lunchroom. I mean, we have a good lunchroom. A lot of the maintenance guys come to our lunchroom because it's one of the best. So, but anyway, asking parents not to drop food off. Even at lunch at our campus, a lot of times the students will be in the lunchroom and looking out the window, and mama pulls up or daddy pulls up, and there they go running out the door to get the lunch. So we don't want that. I mean, we're taking every precaution that we can to keep our kids safe. And furthermore, I mean, even more than that, one thing that I think about a lot is, you know, kids may think, well, I won't get it, blah, blah, blah. Or if I do get it, I'll get over it really quick. And that may be true. But what about grandma? What about your parents? What about your aunts and uncles that are older? You may be okay. You may can handle it. But if you take it home to them, it may be bad. So we're trying to do our best in this district to keep that from happening. So not only are we thinking about our kids, we're thinking about our families all throughout the community. And the last thing is parent conferences. You know, sometimes parents need to talk with teachers remote 504, APs, virtually. You know, a lot of times phone calls will take care of that. But if we need a face-to-face, we're going to try to do it virtually, again, to try to keep everybody safe. And if it's a situation where a parent has to come into the building, of course, there'd be a lot of screening taking place. But as of right now, we're being told that no one is in the building, again, for safety reasons. So I appreciate your time. I'm gonna hush, and y'all be safe.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Susan White, the principal at Monticello High School. MHS will have two options as well. Students may choose to be a virtual student or an on-site student. A virtual student will receive all of their instruction through technology, while an on-site student will receive instruction through a blended format. 4 days, they'll receive their instruction at school, and 1 day they'll receive their instruction via technology while they're at home, and that 1 day would be on Fridays. MHS will be using Google Classroom for their learning management system, and that will be used to deliver all of our instruction and our activities. Our students are very familiar with Google Classroom since we've used it in the past. We're going to issue a Chromebook and a protective cover to all of our students to be used in the classroom and at home. Students will need to provide their own earbuds, which are compatible with the Chromebook. Those earbuds will be used at school and at home. We're going to have some resources for our parents and our students, and we will post those on our webpage to help with Google Classroom. There will be some tutorial videos. MHS too has some health safety measures in place this year. Students and teachers will be required to wear cloth face coverings everywhere that social distancing is not feasible. We're going to implement a one-way traffic pattern in our hallways during class changes. Students are going to be required to use hand sanitizer when they enter and exit a classroom or when they enter a building. Teachers will also sanitize the classroom at the conclusion of every period. MHS plans to have 2 lunch periods again this year. The things that we put in place to help with safety during our lunches are we've reduced the number of seating to 4 students per table, and then we're also going to utilize the picnic tables outside, and those will seat 4 students as well. As stated by the other principals, all lunches that are brought from home will have to be brought in a disposable bag. I'm going to turn it over now.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Gosden. I'm the assistant principal at Monticello High School. A health and safety measure that we've put in place to protect our students and staff is to limit the number of visitors into our high school building this year. Only visitors with an appointment will be allowed to enter the health, and a health screening must occur at that time. We ask that parents that come to the office side doors push the buzzer, and an office personnel will assist you. At the high school, if a student brings a note signed by a parent to allow to check them out, it's not necessary for the parent to come in and sign them in or out. If a parent fails to send that note ahead of time, an email will suffice. We'll accept the email as the note. When a parent comes to the school to pick their child up, he or she can buzz or call the office, come to the main front entrance, and an office worker will come to the door to handle the checkout procedure. Another safety measure put into place district-wide, no deliveries will be allowed. This includes flowers, balloons, and lunches. Again, this is done for the protection of our students, their families, and our staff members. Our main communication tool this year at the high school will be Remind 101, Facebook, and the high school webpage. Parents, you should have already received an invitation to join the Remind app based off the phone number that was presently in our system. If you have not received this invitation, please call the high school office at 367-4050. Parents, start watching for links to be added to the high school webpage. Very soon, we'll be posting a link to the packet or registration forms in an electric format. A day we're all looking forward to at the high school is when the students can come to the high school gym to pick up their schedules and receive their electronic device. Online packet or registration forms must be completed prior to receiving that schedule. Seniors may come from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning on Friday, August 7th, and juniors from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the same day. On Tuesday, August 11th, we'll be set up for sophomores from 8 to 11 in the morning, and freshmen may come from 12 to 3. We ask that one parent attend with their child, since there is a form that must be signed to complete this process. Students wishing to drive to campus may purchase a parking tag for $20 on that day. It's important that you bring exact cash. We're really looking forward to seeing everybody on that day.
Details that are specific to our virtual students are on Fridays. We will use those days for the assessments that need to be given. So if you're a virtual student, you'll be required to come up on Fridays to take any of your tests, and we'll probably do that in the cafeteria. All transportation is the responsibility of the family for virtual students. Virtual students may participate in band, athletic, and choir. If you are a virtual student and you're coming onto campus for one of those activities, you're going to be required to have a parking permit if you're going to drive yourself onto campus. Because classes at the high school level are required to meet graduation requirements, the administration may require a student to move from virtual classes back to on-site learning if the student is not making the adequate progress or meeting deadlines that are needed. We're doing that to ensure that your child graduates on time. We understand that all changes required for safety are not what we would wish for, however, we're going to make the best of it and make a great year at Monticello High School. We would like to encourage you to send your child to school for on-site blended learning, where MHS teachers will do their best to keep your child safe and provide the very best education. Go Billies!
I hadn't come up yet. Thanks. You knew I needed help.
You're on.
Am I on? Okay, hello. Well, I'm Blair Brown. I'm the Monticello School District Athletic Director. Let's talk about fall sports. Cross country, golf, tennis will start Monday, August the 3rd. We will be following the specific health-related guidelines set forth by the Arkansas Activity Association and the Department of Health. All students must have a current medical physical examination, complete the participation and parental consent forms. Our coaches will have these forms ready for these people next week. Football. I know how much our community is looking forward to Thursday and Friday night football games. They involve so many of our students and adults. Our players, the band, the cheerleaders, our coaches, our parents, and our loyal fans just can't wait to have ball games. Football in Arkansas is classified as a close contact sport. The guidelines have not been announced by the Arkansas Activities Association, the Arkansas State Department of Health, or the governor's office. This means even with football practice scheduled to start Monday, we are still limited to only weight and conditioning workouts. The AAA is in constant communication with the governor's office. All schools in Arkansas expect an answer on close contact sports, when we can start, what we're allowed to do, our plans for the competition venues that's coming. Today at 3:21, the Arkansas Public School Resource Center released a memo that says the governor will provide an update tomorrow on football. I hope you join me by paying close attention to it. When these guidelines are set, I will notify the public at once. We will act on season tickets, box seats, reserve parking, reserve seating. We'll do it at that time. I know that not knowing the details has been extremely difficult for everyone. Our band program is also waiting on guidance from the State Department and the governor's office. I know that Mr. Teague is at a state band associating meeting today, and I think it's going on into tonight. We should expect a ruling on band in the near future. And last, our cheerleaders. Our cheerleaders had a cheer camp this week. They did a great job. Our kids are working super hard under very difficult circumstances, and they're getting ready for football this fall and basketball in the winter. Please join me and getting ready for it. And it's been a hard summer, but we're looking forward to a great fall. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Randy Lay. I'm the director of the Monticello Occupational Education Center. And much like the rest of our district, we will use for our virtual and blended instruction, Google Classroom. Face coverings for our students 9 through 12 will be required when the social distancing is not feasible. Teachers will sanitize the classroom at the conclusion of each period with spray, whether it be in the classroom setting or the shop setting, either one. And in some cases, it will be both of those settings. Hand sanitizers will be at the entrance to every classroom and building entrances. Some classes taken virtually will require a student to come on campus for class, for exams or hands-on trainings. So please take opportunity if you have any further questions at the Q&A, and I'm looking forward to a great year. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Stephanie Brown, and I am the Project Director for the Monticello School District After School Programs. It is great to be here this evening, and we are looking forward to seeing each of our students and staff returning to our campuses really soon. We will have after-school tutoring at Monticello Elementary and at Monticello Intermediate Schools. We will begin our after-school programming on Tuesday, September the 8th. Our after-school will be open Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. and we will offer transportation. Safety and sanitation is our top priority. After school will follow all of the safety guidelines as set forth by the Arkansas Department of Health, the Arkansas Department of Education, and the Monticello School District. We will socially distance, have smaller classroom ratios of teachers to students, and wear cloth face coverings when we cannot socially distance. If day school at any time should pivot to virtual instruction, after school will also offer virtual after-school academic and enrichment activities. Please watch for announcements regarding registration information that will be coming out real soon to register your child for our after-school programs at Monticello Intermediate and Monticello Elementary. Thank you.
I want to thank each of you for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate that. And I just want you to know that we welcome all of your questions. So if you didn't get your questions typed in during this webinar, you will still have some minutes left that you will be able to do that. And we welcome each and every one of those questions. And as you can see and hear from the presentations tonight, we've experienced a lot of changes. Sometimes it's felt like they came every 15 minutes, and I know that you experience that feeling as well. I just want you to know that we're going to have as our main priority the safety and well-being of your child, and we want your child back at school. We have spent lots of time training our staff, ordering materials and sanitation supplies and PPE, and we're ready, and our teachers are ready. And so we look forward to August the 24th. And I just want to thank our panelists. I think they did an awesome job tonight. And I just can't say enough how thankful I am to be a member of the Billy team. Thank you and good night.